Hello everybody, and welcome back to more Kerbal Space Program. We have lost the back part of our engine because I have my intercept, so we're just gonna not fail this time, because for the last two episodes, we really tried hard, very hard, to get to Eve, and we failed both times. So this time it's the money time. We got it. I thought I was pretty close on my approach, but okay, there it is. It's like, but it feels like I'm going further and further away from Eve. So let's see what kind of angle we're coming in at. Okay, that periapsis is pretty big. That's not what we wanted. So from here, let's do this. We're gonna add maneuver. We're gonna slow the heck down until we're a little more. How about right there? A little bit more. 58,000. Well, we don't want that much, but we may have to. If we quick save, we can actually do a lot better with this. So let's find our maneuver node. And it's pretty much retrograde anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. But we're just going to burn. That's how I use the engines to slow me down there. Does a pretty good job of it, and I'm pretty much just gonna watch the heck out of this periapsis, because I mean, ideally what I want is, you know, like an orbit with enough speed to have a good orbit, you know, so not like the way I'm doing it now, which this would take me, let's say I went to the original one, which would take me about 58,000 meters. That would take me into the atmosphere, which will slow me down, which will land me, which is why I saved it. With this, I really wanted an orbit so I could get on the light side of the planet, which would make it a lot easier. But I may not get that as a luxury. Also, while I'm doing this, I'm just gonna close those. Just in case, because I had them open on the trip so I wouldn't run out of energy, but you never know. Especially with entry, I don't want to screw this up. I want everything to go perfectly, especially after the failure that was the previous episodes. And that was down to a few things. Landing in the water definitely did not help one bit. It would also be nice to land on Gilly. That might be the next thing that we do. Or we should just send a space probe to Joule, which is the gas giant. Get as much atmospheric data as we can and have it come back and return to Kerbin. That might be, actually, yeah, I think that's what we're going to do next. It'll give us a good boost in science, which should allow us to get enough to get to Gilly and back with a lot of science, because we may unlock other science stuff with the Joule mission. Because this should give us quite a bit of science too. Not a lot, but it should give us quite a bit. Where are we at? Almost 200,000. That's not bad. We can pretty much just do the burn and call it good for, you know, what we're doing here. And that is slowly rotating off over to the left, which is fine. There we go. What is that at? That's at 184,000 meters. Well, while we're up here, we can do a couple things. Do we want to, though? How much would this get us? We're in high orbit around Eve, 21 science. I don't know. It's tough to say, because what we could do alternatively is go to different biomes on Eve and get better ones. So let's just not worry about it, and let's slow down a little bit more. How about that? Let's try for a landing. I've already quick saved it to a reasonable spot. Let's try for a landing that is not going to screw us up. So we want, you know, 50,000 meters would be good, I think. And there we go. All right, let's do this. Speed up time to get to Eve at a reasonable pace. I don't want to overdo it, so I'm got that finger on the button. Oh, okay. Whew. Always makes your heart drop a little bit when that happens. What are we at? We're at 100,000. That's fine. I'm not out of energy. I thought I was for a second because it didn't feel like my ship was moving. But I do want to switch to prograde. I'm facing retrograde right now. If I switch to prograde, then when I drop the fuel tanks off, they should be good to fly off on their own. Also, are we landing over water? It's another reason why I want to switch to prograde. Just in case. 74,000 meters, 70,000. Hitting the atmosphere. That looks like water. Hard to tell. Ugh, man, we may be landing over water. So, I don't know. Oop, we're going into a death spin. That's not what I wanted. Okay, that's fine. Let's detach. I don't think there's a way to... Actually, no. I'm not going to detach. Because I have greater mass. Which, it's kind of hard to tell where the heck we are. That just looks like a lot of ocean to me. Right? Like, that looks like a landmass. That's where I want to be. So I'm going to try to get there. The problem, though, it looks like if I'm on that landmass, do I have anywhere else to go? And is that even a landmass? This looks like water, yeah? But is it? What if the dark parts are water? Oh, man. They might be. I don't know. I honestly have no idea. Are we going to get an orbit? No. Okay, I was like, that would be awesome. I should have aerobraked and just done that. Okay, the light parts look like they're land because that has like a bump to it, yeah? So what that means is now we're going to land in the water. Okay, so the dark parts are water, the light parts are land, I think. There's really only one way to find out, which we're going to land on the planet anyway, so I'm not too concerned. It's hard to tell. Are the white parts land, or are they water? Well, let's speed this process up a little bit. Now that I've gotten a bit closer, it looks like the dark parts are the land now. It's so hard to tell. I mean, it would make sense, right? Dark parts would be the land, the light parts would be the water. Okay, let's get rid of that. Goodbye, engines. We'll see you in a little bit. I'm slowing down rapidly, so I don't really need to pull my chutes now. Although if I start going at a death spin, I do. Yeah, this looks textured. Nope, that is water. Dang it. You notice as we got closer, we figured it out. Right? That's definitely water. That has to be water. The dark. Yeah, that is water. Okay, so the light is land, the dark is water. So what we do is we quick load. And from here, we can better determine how to do this. So we are going to aerobrake maneuver. So let's do back to our maneuver node, which is retrograde, as we've already talked about. I don't know if I saved it. No. Okay, so let's close those. And get to our maneuver point. And we will get like 100,000 meters aerobraking. Well, yeah. I'll Google it while this is happening. So it says about 72,500 meters is a good aerobraking one. I think because Eve's atmosphere actually begins at 96,000, we will start in at 75,000. That might be a good number, and we'll save it, of course, right as we get a little lower. So I'm going to pull down the throttle, and there we go. Okay. So quick save, we can always gain more altitude, so that's not too much of an ordeal. And let's try our aerobraking maneuver. Oh, that was not what I wanted to do. I tried to slow down and I hit the wrong button. So, F8, load quick save, which is why we quick saved. That gives you a pretty good idea that when you hit that button to speed up, sometimes it won't slow you down because it simulates the physics faster, right? So if that's the case, you're actually moving at a greater velocity than what you normally would be, which means the aerobraking maneuver wouldn't have an effect because you're not in the atmosphere long enough for you to actually slow down. So that's what that is. Okay, we're down to 1, which means we're hitting the atmosphere. Yeah, correct. Should be, at least. Probably should face retrograde. We know the light parts are land. Light parts are land, dark parts are water, which is ironic because on all the screenshots without this graphical mod that I have, the light parts are water and the dark parts are land. So it kind of sucks. Is this slowing us down? It is. It's not doing too great of a job because we're only at 80,000. I think at 75 is when we actually start hitting the atmosphere. So maybe 72 was the proper one to do. Well, we can slow down a little bit more. See if that had an effect. 74,000. I don't know if it will. It might. Okay, we're obviously hitting the atmosphere now. Good. We have a slight orbit. So we managed to aerobrake, actually. Okay, well. Are we still slowing down? Nope. Well, slightly, but not too much. So we're actually gaining altitude. Okay, so we're going to retrograde, and we're just going to get this apoapsis in. We're going to try to land on this side of the planet. So it's actually a pretty good time to quick save, because we know we're not going to need any other time past this, really. Because if we get in orbit, we're fine. And we could do this multiple times, multiple rounds, because I happen to have a lot of fuel. Which is it's actually quite nice because it allows us to have more flexibility with what we want to do with the maneuvers, as opposed to if you don't have a lot of fuel, then you're strapped and you have to really be conservative and you have to kind of figure out your maneuvers beforehand, as opposed to now where we're just winging it. Efficiently, though, you want less fuel. You want just enough fuel to get you there and back if you have a return trip. And that should be the most efficient type of trip. But it also depends on how efficient your maneuvers are, which is part of the skill that goes into the game. You don't really want a whole lot of fuel coming back with you, because that means you probably could have left with a whole lot less fuel, which would have made your maneuvers more easy, which would have made taking off of your planet or moon easier, because you would have had less mass. It makes sense. It's, basic science, really. This is slowly getting there, though. Very, very slowly. Okay, after quite a bit of time, I actually got, and having to go around a few times, I got kind of a really good rotation going here. That could be a bit higher, but for the most part, this will work. So we want to land on this side of the planet, so we're going to retrograde until the periapsis obviously starts intersecting with the atmosphere some more. We're looking at, 30,000 would be a good one. Maybe a little lower than that. So we got 40, 30. Yeah, that'll be good. Okay, and I just quick saved before that, by the way, so we should be fine. So I can only go 4 times speed. Yeah. Also, we probably will end up landing like way over here and not anywhere close to that. Because you got to remember, I'm still coming into the atmosphere, so now I'm going lower and lower and lower. And what's going to happen is I'm going to hit that 92 mark, and then I'm going to start slowing down even more. And from our experience, we know that the light is ground and the dark is water. So we got to keep that in mind as we try to actually, land. And I think we're slowing down even more. Yeah, there we go. Now we're starting to just screech to a halt, basically. Over a slow period of time, of course, but, it's all relative, right? And as soon as we start hitting atmosphere, then it's going to get twice as bad. Ah, that's the direction we're looking. Perfect. See, the land? Oh, that's what we want to land on right there. That's what we want. Glorious solid ground. Okay, now the light parts are water, right? Oh gosh, I can't tell from up here. Once we start getting into the atmosphere, it'll make it a bit more clear, but at the moment, that's just not happening. Yeah, like I said, we're going to land off somewhere over here. Ooh, the clouds look really cool with the sun, though. Oh, I like that a lot. Okay, that is definitely water. That is definitely ground. So in the sunlight, the water is light, and the ground is... Let's slow down. Holy cow. The ground is dark, and the light is the water. Okay.